Good morning, everyone. This is Gail, and it's time for my Friday Frolics. I can't believe that Fridays come as quickly as they do. No wonder I don't ever have any time, because they must be taking either hours out of every day or days out of the week or something. But I do have a few things to share with you. Number one, I do have a video coming your way today. It's uploading now, so it should take maybe another hour to finish. What I did was I did a Sutton slice on an Altoid tin, and I explain all about that in the video. And it's, you know, it's funny. I learned how to do the Sutton slice several years ago. And it's a technique that was developed by Lisa Pavelka. And she explains in a recent video that I just saw after I had set out and planned, you know, this one. She had a student. I don't know what they were trying to do, but whatever the process was, the technique that they were trying to do, they were making some changes or something, and this kind of came out of it by accident, and they liked the way it looked, so she started perfecting it. And because this student's name was Sutton, she calls this the Sutton slice. And it's really a great technique. And it's so funny. I was going through some of my things, and I saw from years ago that I had done the Sutton slice, and I said, okay, well, let me try showing, you know, everybody how to do that. So I had everything set out, everything was ready, went to my YouTube channel, and Fire Mountain Gems had just posted a brand new video by Lisa Pavelka on how to do the Sutton slice. So I'm going to link that in the video that I'm going to be sending. And instead of calling that a tutorial, because it's not a tutorial, I'm just going to say it's a demo, because I'm just doing pretty much what she did in her video. And, you know, maybe you would like hers better, but I'll reference it in the other video. But that's kind of the way things go. I finally had somebody come out yesterday to look at my air conditioner, which I'm glad, because it's getting up in the upper 80s this weekend. But it's sort of temporarily halfway fixed, if that makes any sense. It does need Freon, and the type of Freon that we use that we need for this particular unit is rather expensive. And we have another friend that's in the air conditioning business that carries this on his truck. So he's going to come and give it a little bit of a boost. The rest of it has been, you know, I say fixed. The air conditioner's running and it's cooling, but it's not cooling enough. But it's keeping it pleasant in here, and I'm sure it'll be fine until the rest can be fixed. But it's the people that installed this system before I moved in. It was here when I moved in. But you all know about air conditioners and their condensation drainage tubes. Well, I have I have a sump pump in my basement, but I call it a sump pump well. I don't know what else to call it. It's like a big hole in the floor that the sump pump sits in. And my outside basement door drains into it. My washing machine drains into it, and this condensation pipe drains into it. But if you look into the half of the basement that is not finished, there's a door and you can look in there. The drainage tube is not hooked up. One, it's not hooked up properly. The air handler is not level, so the water is settling in the wrong end of the air handler for it to be able to drain. But even if it does drain, the drain in some places, the pipe, instead of going down, which has to, you know, for water, it's got to go down, it'll come up, and then it'll go down, and it makes several turns. And when it gets to my sump pump, it comes up to go through the wall to get into the room where my sump pump is, which means it's like a U-shape, not U, it's not that drastic, it's very slight, but the fact that it has to travel up in order to get down to the sump pump the problem is the water is just sitting in the line. So that's all got to be fixed. And the man that came yesterday is going to come back and fix all that for me. And he's a friend of, well, his wife and my daughter are best friends at work. So he's not charging me anything but gas money, you know. And of course I feel like I need to give him more than that. But, you know, I'm just blessed with good friends. Still have the problem with my gutter overflowing and running through my basement because it's evidently the rain is, when it rains, it's going over the back side of the gutter and down the inside of my wall into my basement. Luckily, it is, most of it is going to the sump pump. But it's just, you know, it's like when there's one thing, there's 100 when you own a home. And that's just not one of the things, you know, two of the things that I needed to happen right now. But at least right now, I'm not facing thousands of dollars in home repair because I just don't think I could handle it right now. I am getting ready for convention, Fun Stampers Journey Convention. I'm leaving on June the 7th. I can't wait. It's so exciting. And that's what this little tin is for. I've got friends, well, not friends, but I have a roommate and this little tin. I have a roommate and my upline is also going to be there. So I want to just make a little something, and I'm sure everybody is making them things out of paper, you know, cards and tags and things like that. I thought I would do something different and make a little gift out of clay so they can see the other side of my life. The biggest side of my life. And so I'm going to make a couple of these little tins and take them with me. They're small, and we have a tool called a bloom tool that it's just one of these all-purpose tools. It's got a little, like a, almost like, we call it a fish hook, but it's not really that fish hook. It's just like a crooked little hook pointer. It's got a straight pointer. It's got a little spatula type thing. It's got a brush to clean out your dies, you know, for the little punches and things. It's got 7, I believe, different attachments. It's either 7 or 8. You can, it's a double-ended tool, so you can have the 2 that you use the most on either side, and then it unscrews and you can store 2 inside. But that usually leaves 3 that you don't have with you. And these little tins would be just perfect to store those in, and then when they want to go to a crop or something, they can just pick this up and throw it in their bag, and they'll have their attachments. So that's my intention. We'll see how it works out. I don't have a lot for you in the clay world, except, well, I still have this sitting here. You remember the drawing that I did in the polymer clay last week? Well, Polyclay Play has featured that video in their, I believe it's the extruder. When you go to their website and you look at the extruder, underneath it is this video showing how to use it. So Lisa does a great job in spreading her goodwill with, you know, she's asked me before if she could use my videos, and I've given her my permission by all means. You know, it gets word out there that I'm there, so if anybody shops at her website, they might just see my video and I might have a new subscriber. But I saw that this week. I was looking for something else and saw that, so that was kind of exciting that I've had another video published on her website. I did finish the, well, let me show it to you. I wasn't going to show it to you. But the journal cover that I did from my Patreons, from my patrons on my Patreon account, and I say it's a journal cover. This isn't going to be a journal cover because I don't have a journal to cover. But this is what we did. So that was the process. So that's what you would have gotten if you contributed $10 or more to me last month on my Patreon account. So just a little advertisement there. Another thing that I really dread bringing up, because at this point I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I've been having some shoulder issues, and nothing that I thought was really drastic. Every once in a while I would get this, well, that was drastic. Every once in a while I would get this pain on the cap of my shoulder. And normally it happened when I was taking my exercise classes and was doing something with my arm over my head. And I didn't pay much attention to it. I thought, oh, well, I've pulled a muscle, you know. And so this has been going on for about 2 months now. And it seems to be getting a little bit worse. And then that feeling that I had, the muscular feeling, it started feeling like, and this ended up not being what it was, but what it felt like to me was like a muscle along, am I up high enough for you to see up here? It felt like certain movements I made, it felt like this muscle flipped off of the bone, and that hurt. And when it hurt, you know, all the way up into my neck and, you know, down my arm, and then it would ache like a toothache. So, you know, I had to bite the bullet, and I called the doctor and went in to see him on Tuesday, and I have a bone spur, a rather large one that is, let's see, this camera's backwards. Right in your shoulder, you have your ball and socket joint, and then right over top of that, there's a bone that, it's like a cap, sort of like your kneecap. It's just a little cap that fits over that joint, and in between your shoulder joint and that cap is a major tendon that goes into your rotator cuff. And the I have a lot, well, if you picture this as being the bone, all along from this, all along here on this edge, I've got quite a bone spur, and that bone spur is rubbing on that tendon. And, you know, it's like, I've been through this before with my toe. I had a bone spur on my toe, and the doctor that operated on my toe 2 years ago, when he told me about it, he said, now I can give you a shot of cortisone and it will help for a while, and then that'll wear off. He said, and then I can give you another shot of cortisone and that'll help for a while, but eventually you're going to have this bone spur taken off or else just live with the pain. So I had those options. This doctor, being that it's a shoulder, it was a different doctor because, you know, they only work on certain joints now. This doctor chose to just do the cortisone shot. He said, let's see how you do. See if this helps with the pain. Well, since I'm not constantly in pain, it's kind of hard to tell, you know, it's hard to tell if it's helping with the pain until I do something that's going to cause that pain. And I don't think cortisone is going to help that. It will calm down the inflammation if there is any in there. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, if this, it's not going to help the bone spur. The bone spur will not go away with cortisone shots. So if I stick with the cortisone, and then when that wears off, I go back and get a second cortisone, and then that wears off. After that, I can't have any more cortisone. So the only alternative at that point is going to be surgery on the shoulder. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to, you know, eventually have to have this surgery, why don't we do it now before something happens to that tendon? I don't know if you know Kim Cavender. She's a big polymer clay artist. And when I put this on Facebook, she came back and said that she never experienced any pain until she had this pop in her shoulder, and that she had the exact same thing. It was the bone spur, and it totally severed that tendon, and it took her a year of recuperation before she could get back to claying. And I wondered what had happened to her, because I noticed that she wasn't doing any claying, but she's back at it now. She works with Donna Cato a lot, and Judy Belcher, Leslie Blackford. They all do a lot of things together. But she said, I don't want to scare you, but you might want to have this taken care of before this happens to you and it becomes major. So I've got to call into the doctor to see if there's a medical or an insurance reason why he didn't suggest that I have it done quickly, or sooner rather than later. It doesn't have to be quick. And again, I'm getting older. the older I get, the harder it's going to be for me to come back from a surgery. And I don't want to take a year out of my life. I just turned 71 on Tuesday. I don't have a lot of years to give up, you know. I need every one I can get. So I don't want to give up that year. So I'm waiting to hear back from the doctor. I had to leave a message with his nurse, and I don't think they were in the office yesterday because nobody returned my call. But I'm going to see about having this bone spur taken off. And if I do, that's going to be probably at least 6 weeks that I won't be able to do polymer clay videos. Because I'll be running to physical therapy and healing from the surgery and all that good stuff. But just wanted to kind of give you a heads up. It may not happen. If the doctor doesn't agree with my logic, then I have no choice to either get a second opinion or, you know, just go with his. So we'll see how that turns out. So I just wanted to let you know that. Let's see, what else have I got? There was something else that came to mind while I was talking about that, and I knew if I kept talking it would go away, and it did. We still have Lola. Lola's still here, but she's still, you know, she still has her moments just because she's busy. She's got energy. We went out this morning and chased a tennis ball for a while, so hopefully she's in the living room laying down because she's not in here bothering me, but it could also mean she's in the living room getting into something because she's just wants to be busy all the time. And so we'll see how she does, but hopefully she will get adopted pretty quickly. And, oh dear, I wish I could remember what that other thing was that I wanted to tell you. I should have, you know, I should have just stopped right then and told, you know, said what I needed to say, but it's gone. I'll probably remember it and I'll mention it in my next video. But anyway, just wanted to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody stays safe. If you're traveling, please be careful. There's a lot of traffic on the road this weekend, so just be really careful. And I'm going to get a haircut this afternoon, and I'm going to stop at the grocery store on the way home, and hopefully I won't have to go out anymore into the craziness. So have a great week. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back soon with another Friday Frolics and hopefully another polymer clay video. Bye-bye.